obviously, this is just about everything that's been going on, just this month as a whole, and especially with Friday's stream. Um, for those of you who don't know, actually, I don't know who the fuck doesn't know at this point because it's all over TikTok and everything, and it's been living in my brain rent free ever since it happened. Um, there was a stream that me, Cutie, and Katie we were playing some games, and we somehow got on the topic of just parasocial people because Katie was talking about how her chat at this time of night always tells her, "Oh, you need to go to bed. You need to go to bed. You look so tired. You look so tired." And then the conversation kind of just like spun into something that it shouldn't have ever went to in the first place. It was just not a conversation that needed to happen on stream. And it was very like it was just like an awkward, uncomfortable thing for everybody involved. Um, and yeah, so that's basically like what happened. And if first and foremost, I would like to say that the idea of deleting the VOD was my idea. Okay, and if you watch the full thing back, you will literally hear me say, "Can we just fucking delete this?" Because I am not in the mental space right now to deal with just what I already know is going to come from this, because I already knew that this was going to be a whole thing, obviously. So that was my idea. So I'm just going to let that be known once and for all. Also, after the fact too, if you were here for the live, after that conversation was had and we all like, went our separate ways, I started crying. I started crying, and it was not about necessarily what had happened, but oh, a rogue eyelash, thank you. It was not about what had happened, but it was more so just like everything as a whole, and I was just getting emotional because there's just been a lot going on this month. There's just been a lot going on this month, and there were some things that were said that I did not necessarily agree with or think that could have been said better, probably. And the thing is, I know where Cutie's heart is, and I know that she tries to have everybody in the community come together. And we have had conversations in private about this, and that's not something that you guys need to like know about, but like, I'm not going to go into detail on that. And I just don't want anyone to think that there's, all I'm going to say is that it's like, I'm trying to be like freaking PR Dre now. There are clips of me giving other people advice, literally saying, "You are who you hang out with." And I've given people advice. People have been like, "Hey, my boyfriend, this XYZ, you know, like, is hanging out with this guy and he fucking sucks," or whatever. And I have literally said, "Hey, you are who you hang out with." And so for that take of, it's you are not who you associate with, was not necessarily something that I agreed with. And I don't want it to seem like I'm backpedaling on something, because I have quite literally said that in the past, that I have stood on that and said, I personally think if you hang out with somebody who is, XYZ, that what does that have to say about your character, kind of a thing. Although I do think the clips were taken out of context a little bit. I do think the clips were taken out of context. And now people are, and of course people are saying, "Oh, you were nodding your head and stuff and everything." When you it's hard when you're put in that position, because one, with all of our chats combined, there are over 10,000 people watching. And quite literally, when anyone is talking to me, I go like this. When anyone is talking to me about anything, that's just like, I'm just like, like that's just a conversational thing that happens with anyone that I fucking talk to. So that's just that. And I think if you watch the full thing, you could obviously feel the fucking tension. You could feel that it was a little awkward for everyone. And it's more of a thing where I know that I, as a white woman, have the privilege of being able to be in some spaces and be some places that I don't have to worry for my safety, and that I don't have to worry for, you know what I mean? So I could never sit here and try to tell people, like marginalized people, how they should feel about comments like that. And I don't, everyone is saying, are you guys listening to what I'm saying right now? Like, this chat is confusing the fuck out of me. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? Like, genuinely. Are you listening with the fucking sound on or no? Like, what? I am telling y'all that I understand why people are upset about that. I'm telling you that I know and understand why that is a take that people are upset about. Okay? Because as somebody who has as a white person who recognizes that I have white privilege, that there are certain people that can be in rooms and have comments like that be made, and it would affect them in ways that could affect them for the rest of their life, because it is a personal attack on them. Do you get what I'm saying? Marginalized groups of people cannot be in rooms where people are making these kinds of jokes and XYZ and whatever, and have it be something that can be excused or written off because it's something that could affect them for the rest of their lives, and it's stuff that they have to deal with constantly. And also, too, as a queer woman as well, obviously, another thing. It's just one of those things that was just uncomfy. It was just uncomfy for everyone. And I am just letting you know that as somebody who, you know, as a friend and as somebody who was like, hey, I was kind of the one who was like, hey, can you elaborate on that? I was the one who in a sense dragged it out, because I wanted to, I was like almost a little confused. I wanted to hear more. And so I was the one that was like, hey, my chat is like, you know, I wanted to hear more. And I just don't think that was obviously not something that helped anything. Sorry, I'm reading. And yeah, so